get admitted because it would again. Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining in. It's a pleasant evening out here, and we are here to learn something we all wanted to learn more about at some point of time, but somehow we couldn't understand the topic in a more structured manner. So we have this webinar on how to embrace a minimalist lifestyle today. So. We have Dr. Jubilant with us today, and this webinar is being hosted along with Bombay Management Association and Pala Management Association together. So, welcome to guests from Bombay Management Association as well as Pala Management Association. Uh, just to start the session for the day, let me give you a brief introduction to our TMI community. TMI stands for Technology Management and Innovation. This community is a 5-year-old community, and the members have grown to around 1,300 plus members now. And this community has got various members ranging from businessmen, professionals, senior officials, entrepreneurs, academicians, and students from India and various parts of the world. All we discuss is only three things: technology, management, or innovation, and that's about it. We do not encourage discussion or on politics, religion, exchange of greetings, or good morning, good evening, or any such topic. All we know and discuss is only these three things, and this has become one of the sought after community for leaders in the region. Apart from running our regular community updates, we have this webinar which is being hosted every Saturday at 5 p.m. IST. Uh, Apart from this webinar, we also have walkathon, which is a challenge to walk total 21 kilometers in 2 days time. So right now we are having 28th edition of this walkathon, wherein 92 people are participating from 21 countries and 32 cities. So this is where we are. We also have one more group wherein we collaborate and publish articles, and we intend to collaborate and publish a book as well. So stay tuned for these updates, and thank you so much. It is my pleasure to welcome members of BMA and Pala Management Association. I would request Professor Mani, President Bombay Management Association, to share his occasional speech. Over to you, Mani, sir.
Thank you so much, Chintan. Namaskar and good evening, everybody. It's a wonderful occasion when we collaborate with other like-minded organizations. And that's what we are here this evening, all together on a common forum. It's even more special when we have someone like Chintan Oza, who is a powerhouse of energy, both leading TMI and playing a very active role in the Bombay Management Association. And when Chintan connects us with Pala Management Association, which is part of the same All India Management Association fraternity that we belong to, I think the celebration becomes much, much bigger. Thank you so much, each one of you, for being here this evening. And a special thanks to Dr. Jubilant, because he's kind of suggested a topic which he walks the talk. And he's going to share with us so much more about a topic that many of us have perhaps read, but don't know how to practice, don't know how to implement. And that's going to be the secret of today's session, as we expect from Dr. Jubilant. I'm delighted to see so many members of BMA here, along with colleagues from TMI. And I'll only take 2 minutes to tell you that we are very happy to work together in collaboration. And Chintan has ensured that it happens over the last 9 months that we have been working together on a common committee in the Bombay Management Association. We are happy that BMA, like TMI, though does not say technology management innovation, has tried to be completely digital. And I hope that we continue our digital journey till the lockdown finally is reopened and we are able to get back to physical spaces and physical conferences over a period of time. But I think, as they always say, every such setback gives us an opportunity for a comeback. It also gives us an opportunity to explore something new. And I'm delighted to share, with the support of our entire team, including Chintan, till date we have hosted about 100 webinars. And our series is called the Wednesday Wisdom Webinars and the Friday Fundamentals MDPs. Week after week, we host this in the evening, approximately 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Speakers from Mumbai, India, and international. So feel free to join us at any given point in time. All our programs are invitation based, like TMI. The intention is not to commercialize learning, but to make it available in a platform that is available for anyone who is hungry to learn. On that note, I know that we are all waiting to listen to Dr. Jubilant. I decided to practice a minimalistic speech today and therefore hand back to Chintan. Thank you. Chintan, you got muted by oversight.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mani sir. Now let me introduce Dr. Jubilant, today's speaker. My association with Dr. Jubilant goes almost 2 years now, and this is where
Yeah,
we met
yeah, yeah.
first. This is where we met first, and we ever since then we are connected on a regular basis. Indeed, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jubilant today. Dr. Jubilant is by profession, he is the head of computer science department at St. Kitts University. He is also a blockchain researcher and a cybersecurity enthusiast. He is also active in various technical communities like Hyperledger, TMI, Kerala Blockchain Academy, and Pala Management Association. He is also a founder member of Pala Management Association. At present, he is the president of Pala Management Association. So, thank you so much, Dr. Jubilant, for joining us. And definitely, I must say that not only Dr. Jubilant understands the minimalist lifestyle, but he also practices minimalist lifestyle. So, it is our pleasure to have you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Chinjanti, for the wonderful introduction, and I really appreciate your effort to have this community live and all your efforts to make this happen many activities in TMI, yeah, and also regarding your sessions, which are very awesome to hear and listen. So let me thank Professor Mani and Chintanji for providing this wonderful opportunity to have a session in TMI and along with Bombay Management Association and also in association with Pala Management Association. Yes, when I before I start this, I would like to speak something which, or I just want to tell a story which was really making me think and making interested. It's about a young man who lives in a village, who feeds his cattle. Or every morning he takes the cattle to the hillside, and he will be remaining there till the evening. Along with the cattle and making his life really wonderful over there under a banyan, sitting under a banyan tree. He used to sing, or he used to use his flute, consistently and continuously there for the from the morning till the evening, so that he himself and his cattle are enjoying. And also, he was really appreciated by the people in the village because of the beautiful voice from the flute, which was making their life also a bit more lively. And one day, one traveler who is basically a businessman who passed along the roadside was really interested with the man sitting in the under the banyan tree and playing the flute. And this businessman, the traveler, he also rested with him under the banyan tree and started speaking to him. And he motivated this. He tried to motivate this young man with his words like the places he has visited, the business he has done, and all the connections he has all over the world and the friends, everything he was trying to tell up to this person, the young person, and trying to motivate this man to be a hard worker. But this man showed no interest in all these things, all this discussion. He was trying to restart his playing on his flute, and when he again started, this patient businessman again directly asked, "Why are you spoiling your life sitting under this banyan tree and feeding this cattle?" Stopping the play, he just looked at the young man looked at this traveler. "Why you told like that?" This man asked. Young man asked, and in response, this businessman told, "Yes, you are really spoiling your energy. You are spoiling your time, just sitting under this tree and blowing this, I mean, playing with your flute. At the time when you are playing this flute and sitting under the tree, you can take some land around, do some agricultural activities, and along with that, you can look over the cattle. So you can do some multiple activities and you can earn more money." Yes, he agreed. And again, the young man asked, "So if I really go for the activities like that, I mean, agricultural activities, I'll get more money. So what should I do with that money I took? I earned." Yes, again, this man told, "Yay, man, if you are having money, can do good business. If you are doing good business, you can earn more money. And if you are earning more money, you will be having, means, better your business." Yes, the young man said, "Yes, yes, yes. And if I start my business and improve my business, and if I earn more money, then what's the result?" Again, this man told, "Yes, you can have a beautiful house at your person where you wish. You can have a good family, beautiful wife, wonderful life, everything you will be having." And again, this man asked, "If I do have all these things, and what will I get again? I mean, what will be the other result?" He told, "Yes, if you are having enough money, if you are having a wonderful family, wonderful family, and at the end of the life, you can rest very happily. You can go wherever you want and do whatever you want to do." The traveler told in a very motivating voice. The young man told that, "Sir, don't you know that I'm doing the same which you told at the end of, I mean, when I do after the retirement? Yes, I'm enjoying my life with my youth itself, sitting in the under this banyan tree. Means I'm getting enough money after feeding my cattle, and I'm really resourceful because I'm having a good family support, and I'm really happy with my family. And again, I'm doing a very enjoyable life." Really, this businessman who is a traveler who traveled all around the world was stunned by this answer just because he always thought that running around the world, making your life busy and making yourself always engaged was one of the best things he can ever do. Conquering the world was one of the intention in his life, and soon he told me understood that he found a person who is having entirely different mindset. Yes, I'm not telling that this is what exactly minimalism is, because if I'm telling so, it will be undercoated to anything and everything. Ironically, it is going to be a minimal. Today's session will be going to be a minimal session about minimalism, because I can just tell what it is and how we can manage it and how we can go through it. But each one is different, each person is different, and it's more comprehensive one to get so comfortable to enjoy the process of minimalism. Personally, I was never thought that I'm a minimalist because I never had an idea that I'm a minimalist. Just because I was a person who took whatever only I needed in the means before few years itself, and I was very less expensive person where I thought of many times even when I do a purchase. Fortunately, I got a family who is really correlating with that, and so I'm happy with the things I'm moving forward. And when I did that, when I start practicing, I had no idea what minimalism was. But once I heard, and then when I started reading on it, I surely understood that I can make more, means I can live a better life, making myself more structured and more organized. And here we have no minimalism would have to big impact, means would have a big impact, and as it did always. Looking back, it has been one of the most important changes I've implemented in my life. Minimalism is, I mean, when I think of it, I just want to explain how I reduce distractions in my life so that I can do more things which matter to me. If I'm feeling overwhelmed with the idea of doing more things that matters most to me, means always my calendar will be overscheduled, or our physical space will be filled with items that don't serve for me or my family. Minimalism will always help in making more space in my life. It's same to you also. Over time, minimalism can potentially help to make a radical lifestyle change, moving into a new city, changing career, or exploring a new entrepreneurship or something like that. When we think of it, what really minimalism is minimalism is defined as a design or a style which is simplest and the fewest elements are used to create the maximum effect. Minimalism had its origin in its art, and it afterwards all the art, means many artworks came up where featuring simple lines, very few colors, and careful placement of the lines and colors that happened. And after that, more recently, it became representative of a lifestyle that aims to remove the culture from the facets of the life. Here, the key break the twist. We define minimalism as a lifestyle practice focusing on minimizing the distractions that keep you from doing what matters, what you really want, and what you really matter. Minimalism is all about having only what adds value and meaning to your life, as well as the life of the people you care about, and removing all the rest. It's about removing the clutter and using your time and energy for the things that remain. We only have a certain amount of energy. We only have a certain amount of time, and so that we are trying to utilize maximum and to its fullest. In order to make it most of it, we must intentionally know about what we are doing each day. As Annie Dallard said, how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our life. There are many different approaches to minimalism, but it's just really a tool to help you to prioritize what's important in your life. I come back means it's as Oscar Wilde said, the happiness is not all about you want, but it's about enjoying all you have. And I think that might be the concept of minimalism. Minimalism. Here in minimalism, we have no destination, no rules, or no perfect examples even. It lacks, highly individual and the art of the mind. It never, minimalism, never you can practice in internet. It is never based on internet. It's never based on society. It's based on values and self. It can be it can be practical personally, or in family, or in society, or in organization you work. Let us see it when we come across. Let us see how we can come across that. And I can name two famous minimalists. That is Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. In Steve's home, means in his bedroom, he had only a bed and his bedside lamp and only a side table. Nothing there, or nothing else was there in Steve Jobs' room, a bedroom. And his house was also designed such a way that he was not using any furniture there in his house. And when we come to Mark Zuckerberg, he is using a very low priced car for his use, as well as he is using a single colored t-shirt, that is a gray colored t-shirt and blue colored jeans always. Once a person asked why you are always using the same color t-shirt or same t-shirt, he told, I'm not using the same t-shirt, but I'm using the t-shirt of the same color just because I never want to take decision later in how it is going and how we can proceed with. So because he can take least decision and serve more to his community, society, and organization. That's what the response from John. I really understood that myself is a minimalist just when after the pandemic days I was supposed to move out of my rented house which I was staying near my college. As you know, I'm a professor working in St. Kitts College. It's a village near Kottayam, and I was really blessed to have a wonderful house over there from the management, which had 6 rooms inside. Unfortunately or fortunately, I was only using 2 rooms in that, and along with the toilet. And that rooms were also more than enough for me. And when I shifted, along with me had to take very few things. That is one folding table for 2 stools, then mattress and a mat, then a folding chair, a electronic kettle, a few books, a bucket and a mug, and some cleaning materials which I use once in a week. That's all. And also, I engaged one person, one lady near the house to clean that all other rooms, which took one whole day in a month. Once in a month, I used to do that because otherwise that house might have been damaged or gone. So that's what means. After that, I took all those things in my Alto 800 car by folding its back seat and putting it and reached home. And the shifting of the home Means it means all the process took only 1.5 hours to make it clean and move out of the house and reach my home also. I didn't take support of anybody. I took all those things to my home where I stayed and placed in some proper places. Well, I really understood that I can do better. And again, during the pandemic time, we always understood that we can live a life which is more minimal than we were already doing. So that's what minimalism is all about. And again, I mean, minimalism can be more than a lifestyle. It can be a politics of simplicity, just for people who are really loving simplicity. And for a person who is being want to be yourself, and anyone else can means you cannot be anyone else because it's already taken. You can identify your own minimalistic way where we can have some suggestions. And here, when we discuss, we will have to start with some common misconcepts of minimalism. That is, there are some misconcepts of minimalism which I should discuss with. Contrary to what the people think, there are an actual rules. There isn't any actual rules in minimalism. There is no official God or word for minimalism to determine where or not you are doing minimalism all right. Minimalism truly looks for different to anyone and everyone. I'm sure that I'm not a minimalist in having food. I'm really interested in to roam around and have different kinds of food in different areas, and I spend anything and everything for doing that. That's an example. You don't have to own below certain number of items to be minimal. You can still have a nice thing, or do not. You don't need to get rid of your favorite collection, whether it's books, shoes, or music. Minimalism doesn't have to look like white walls, modern or spare homes probably you see in images. So it's more than that. It can be cut down to areas you can connect with. Minimalism is also not a done project. Since I have used minimalism as a continual practice to ensure everything in my life is working in my mission and not against myself. I mean, I used to use those years to make substantial changes in my career, in my home, in my lifestyle, and in my behavior. And recently, moving across to travel across the country, everyone can benefit from applying the principles of minimalism in their life. It's a process of removing distractions and things that no longer add value to your life. Realistically, everyone should be a minimalist, right? Yes, it should not be a silly quest. Who doesn't want to be surrounded by everything that's important and nothing weighing for us down? It makes a ton of sense that you start to think about it. There are some additional thoughts that has to be done to make a minimalist better that we should have to discuss where I have provided some of the additional additional readings to Chintan which he will be sharing by the end of the session. There are no credentials needed to call yourself a minimalist and no official government entity that whatever you are doing is right or not. But you don't have to call yourself a minimalist either, even if you are following the way. That's the way I see the minimalism is in my identity or the goal to achieve. Just a tool I use to part for the framework for doing more that I matters most. Why minimalism is effective tool in living an intentional life? We have to think of that. In the end, minimalism is less about having fewer items and more about actively making choices on what thing you guy means truly matters to you. We exist in a society that creates false value on owning more stuff and having no time to use them much. The concept means the constant process of bigger and better is endless a cycle. There will always be a nicer car to buy, a bigger boat to carry, a larger home to live, or a faster jet to fly. Do you want all these to be done? Now it's possible. So everyone has to be made. It maybe seems like overwhelming talent at first to be or start practicing. But as you untangle the life you built around owning more things, you will find the stress disappearing and the strong world starting the fast world is starting to slow down. The choices you make will be beginning to build muscle and that fortunately will fundamentally change the way you live your life. Then before starting to get means what means how to get started with minimalism, I wish to discuss more about the benefits of minimalism. Yes, means first of all, you will be having a very less stress life. Imagine, yes, less stress life. Imagine you are driving home from work and hearing the phone ringing. You pick up, and then an actor left you see his neighbor and asked if he can pick the jacket and left your place. She lives far away, and you have to go reach to that place and go. Means, are you getting panicked of that? Usually, it takes half an hour to tidy the house and make more things happen. So, means less number of activities and less number of articles in the house surely makes less mess. For example, if you are having some washing machine in your house where you means you are not using for a few months and means because you are having some other mechanism to use and after that you are finding that it's not working out, you will be depressed, you will be stressed, and you will be identifying that you have to spend more money for that. Okay, so regarding that, having has to be done, and around the home means when you have cleared your surface in the home to make it clean, then minimalism gets it better. That is, it saves your means more often when you think of it, it saves your time. Time is arguably the most valuable resource. Once it is spent, it's gone forever. We never get more than 24 hours a day, and we never knows how our time will run out. With less stuff to worry about, less clutter to organize and maintain, we regain time of our day, providing an opportunity to be implementing the daily habits what will guide your life, the direction what you really want. And again, you have more possibilities when you are from a minimalist. That is, an unused item cluttering your home or your mind is a finite object. It's a very practical or a psychological way. The item can only be what it is. The space created by the item's removal is on the hand infinite. The possibilities of how the cleared space might be used is completely at your side after the disposal. When you continue to create more space, you become more flexible and more time and more energy and more productivity comes up. Yes. Uh, so, where all we can use it. That is where minimal philosophy can be used in our real life. Exactly, we can start from our home. Means walking into an uncluttered, peaceful environment and a home environment is really an amazing feeling. Means there are spaces where surfaces are clear for use, seating areas are empty for relaxing, and no visual to-do list completing to attention, and to-do list will be very low when you are walking out of the door. Whether the space your home is living room, bedroom, closet, refrigerator, garage, you can benefit from applying minimalism in all these areas. Physical clutter in and around the home is the most common focus of minimalism in our house. There are some different ideas even you can do while designing your home even. And another thing is regarding your schedule. Yes, having a schedule jam packed with meetings, activities, travel can result in anxiety and exhaustion. By creating more space in your day and letting go for no non-essential, will have more time on your day to focus on what you truly matter. Spending time with your family, loved ones, or friends. Reading a book while drinking a cup of tea. Wow, what a beautiful thing it would be. Heading the bed earlier to get good night's rest. Working your project you are excited about. There are many opportunities when you cut down your schedule. Another important thing is regarding your finance, absolutely money. The way you manage your money can also benefit from minimalism. When you have spent more intensely and buy few things, you have more money to use towards the matters most to you, whether it's a fun experience with family and friends or a new project, traveling the world or taking a leap to a new career or entrepreneurship. Minimalism will help you better to prioritize where your money is going. So, like next is wonderful thing is regarding the relationship. When it comes to relationships, quality over quantity really matters. Minimalism can be particularly beneficial in this area. Relationship with people who are chronically negative, unsupportive, or abusive aren't very healthy in long run. They use up your energy and resource, and frankly, a better director, you can make it better directed elsewhere. Toxic relationships always distract us. If you have a people you are around you who aren't supportive, positive things have to influence your life. It is in best interest in the it is the best thing is to either remove or reduce the time spent with negative energy people and those relationships. It is often said that we become an average of the five closest people around us and find it to be true. So, if you are having people around you filled with positive energy and cut down the people who are really having spreading negative energy around us, surely that will add to your much to your life. And regarding digital life, yes, have you ever thought of digital minimalism? Yes, everything becoming is more digital and mobile these days. The digital real time, I mean, the digital realm can be huge mess if we are not intentionally removing them. The alarming statistics shows just how addictive our devices are or how addictive we are to the device. From emails, applications and apps on the mobile, photos, files, and multiple devices which we use, if everything is overloaded with digital information coming at us. In order to maintain our sanctity, it's better to declutter and maintain a digital environment. Surely you should make sure that your digital device should be off at a specific time and you are not using it after that, which really, really motivates your personal relationships in your family. And again, the minimalism, how it is contributing to the energy level of a person, ever become so exhausted that you can do you can do scroll your phone. Think about that situation. We only have so much willpower to have the self discipline each day. The mental energy is the decision making muscle. Read more on decision fatigue in the tip. I mean, in the tip I have provided to leaflet I have provided to Chintan, and you will know why minimalism is important. Better managing in your energy with your loved ones, yourself, and improve your creative flow. It's all emotional energy. Let's go to the old stories of telling yourself. Let us go to the anger and all other grudges which have been wronged in the past. You can remove many things in life, like our negative energies, irritation, anger, grudges, restlessness, everything if we cut down our unwanted practice. Embracing minimalism is all aspect of life and has helped us to more intentional use of energy. Let me think of one specific situation where one of my faculty colleagues commented on me when a new car was taken by another professor in my college. It was a Hyundai Creta which he tried to use, he was using, he bought, and it took around 13 lakhs. And the comment from my colleague was that, look at our professor. He is having three cars, putting at three destinations, and doing three different things. Yes, those times when I was staying near my college, I needed a car at my college for all the things which I had to do around. So I bought a linear, I mean Fiat Linea for 2 lakhs, but it had all that means it was a top end linear with all the features in it. And again, I'm having an Alto 800, which I usually use to travel from my home to place where the college bus is picking me up. And for another use of my at my home site, I mean my parents and wife is using another 800 Maruti 800 car where they use at their site. And if we have to go for a marriage or a big function, I'll take that better car. It's in my college home where we all will be moving on and everybody is happy. So the total expense of all the vehicles I own is less than 6 lakhs. But I really feel difficult to travel all the 57 kilometers from my home, driving a car, reaching my college. So I will take a small drive to the location where my college bus is available. I'll be getting on the college bus and I'll be moving to the college using it. And up to at the college also, I'll be means when I'm staying over there in that site, I'll be having another vehicle which is cost effective and really making something positive. So This is what how minimalism can be practiced, and directly coming to few of the tips which we can do. And first thing we should do to practice minimalism is regarding decluttering. Do people need much things to lead a happy and healthy life? You know, it's not. Yes, very few things require. We really matters to lead a very happy life. So identify that thing which you really want. Also, along with that, identify the components or elements or things at your home which you are not using for the past 6 months. That has to be moved away. That has to be given to some people who really want it. Just because you are not going to use it even after some time if you are not using it for the past 6 months. So identify that you have to decouple some components or some elements in your life to make life much simpler and minimalist. Next thing we can do is that never compare yourself with anybody. It's a big trap of consumerism. And I'll always remember the ad given by Onida, the neighbor's MD honors pride. You are all aware, which I was really enjoying in my childhood days. But people are hooking or companies are hooking people into the consumeristic age, and this is where people compare each other in his profession, in his career, in his lifestyle, etc. When one person I mean, your neighbor buys a big car, it's not necessary that you should have it just because you don't have to use it again. If you are comfortable with the original car or the vehicle you are using presently. So avoid the fancy gadgets, new car, etc., and make life more simpler and happier. And another thing we should take care is put your things back to the place you have already taken. If you are having lot of stuff at your house and you are moving it to different places or pushing it to different places, you can identify how you are going to spoil the room and making a mess. Always messes attract messes. So things are going to be more messy if you are not putting things back. If you are doing it, your life is much more comfortable. I think this has to be taken. I mean, so this avoiding method can be taken by a book from organized consultant and author Madam Marie Kondo, who is a Japanese lady who has written the book Life Changing Magic of Tidying Up. She is a famous consultant on organizing, and presently she started her life in Japan and now moved to San Francisco. And many people think that she is the person who made the minimalistic movement much more identifiable and affordable. Yes, that is just organizing yourself is the base of having minimalistic life. And one of the wonderful thing is being grateful with what you have. At this point, we are discussing the that great words of Mr. Oscar Wilde. That is, happiness is not all about what you want, but it's all about enjoying what you have and be grateful to with what you have. Means regarding the digital things, regarding the monitors, anything, and means regarding the electric gadget, anything and everything what you have should be precisely taken and have it with. And when you are cutlering down with something, thank that specific equipment and give that to someone who is really wanting. That is, we can tell that term as ownership minimalism. That is, my ownership is getting minimized and least, and I'm providing the ownership of many materials to some others who really want it more than me. Means really, if you are staying in a small house or selling your flat in a town and moving to a apartment, that makes things more mindful, means happy. So think of that working style which you can practice. And now, while purchasing an equipment, purchasing an element, purchasing a component, think many times and identify where you if you really want it. If you really want it, okay, just identify that. For that, the best thing is to add that specific component to the wish list. Wait for a few days, think about this twice or thrice, and still you find that it's really required, you have to go with it. Okay, and that is that mindful purchase has to be taken here. Means wish list will be helping you very much for the north. And another thing to be considered is be happy about the negative space. What do you feel about what a negative space is? Yes, when you already had some furniture in at your house and you found that that's not required and you are moving it out, you are providing, selling it to some other person, or you are presenting it to other person, you will be getting a better space over there to move around. You will be getting a space to do better things, and identify that space and make yourself more happy. That is, identify, make more physical space you have and improve it, and provide more freedom for things, and empty yourself by positively appreciating. So another important thing to be taken care is another important thing to be taken care is to say no. Yes, sometimes you will be thinking that your friends have called a party and you are going to participate in that, but you really never want it. Just because of many reasons. Yes, try to identify that you are having some specific situation and say no to it. That time, that always saves your time as well as saves your mind from getting stressed. Or if you have more things to be done, say no to a film which you certainly have to, which was already pre-planned, but do it in a specific, a peculiar way that your friends are not hurt. Protect the scary resources. Means it has to means or means carry resources with more time. Yes, time is always a scarce resource. Means invitations, gifts, and other commitments can always be reduced. Yes, why should you always try to invite some people to your home, or make sure that invitations are only for a specific purpose. And most wonderful thing is the budget. Yes, always understand that minimalism is thinking for means existing for quality or quantity. So make sure that only make sure that only wanted stuff is getting purchased. But identify that minimalism is not always only for the poor people, but for all others who can practice and get more peace in life. Really spend the amount for things you really care. And if you have to do that, Means if you are actively following minimalism, you will be having enough money to buy the things you really care. And regarding the components in life, that is, if you have to travel, which I always like to do it in a minimalistic way. That is, have minimal components with you to travel. Take the inexpensive ways to travel, like that. Personally, I'm having three shirts with all blue colors and three pants with me. And I'm having one shoes which is formal and one shoes which is I use for walking. So make yourself, if your budget is cut down, you can do more things. And enjoying journey of minimalism is really has no destination if you are really planning well in your life. And again, there are many challenges in minimalism which we never think about. Things often get worse before they get better. Whether it's a constant or a closes exploding overall in the room, random things, anywhere things get often messier and more difficult before it gets easier. These will likely be challenging moments during the decluttering process. Work on the easy steps first and then work up with the hardest. Know that it gets easier as you build your decision making muscles and practicing letting go with the items. Once you have been decluttered, it can be difficult to know what to do with your decluttering things. Instead of automatically donating, consider selling, giving it to your friends or your neighbors or other possessions which you really want it. Second main problem is that people in your life itself may not properly understand what you are doing. People who are in your life becomes minimalism may not be understanding to that extent which you really want. They may have questions to pass. They may judge you or try to change something in your life. The reactions may not be helpful, but remember, mainstream society is centered on earning more income to accumulate more. Explain to them what you are really doing and that you understand if it doesn't feel straight with them, but it's that you need to do right now. Be living proof of what's possible by leading the example. It may take time, but once people start seeing how better you feel, look and live, they will become around and start asking you questions. Means regarding the regular maintenance of management. But I would like to say once you have applied minimalism in your life, you are done. That's not the case here. We are evolving beings and our needs and life changes and thus do everything else. Just like what we on your lad. Embracing minimalism in your life requires regular maintenance. Minimalism is not a once and done thing, although it does easier when you do it and maintain it. So identify the magic of doing it and maintaining it. Thank you, one and all, and often for questions.
Well, Dr. Jubilant, that was very, very inspiring. Straight from the heart was very obvious. And the fact that you were sharing live examples of what you actually practiced made the understanding so much more easier for all of us. There have been questions coming in the chat box also, and we'd also urge people to ask their own questions after a couple of minutes. But having said that, there have been a couple of questions that have come up consistently, and a few questions already came to us before the session. So Chintan, I would believe let's take up those generic questions which perhaps many people would have, and then move on to the specific questions of those who are present here at this given point in time. Is that a good way of doing it, Chintan and Dr. Jubilant?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please, please, please.
All right. So one of the first thoughts that come to mind when we were talking about minimalism, a lot of people attribute minimalism to being satisfied in life with whatever we have at an optimum level. This relates to a theory of human behavior often referred to as self-actualization or self-fulfillment. Would you share your views on how we could benchmark these two concepts?
Can you repeat that question once again?
Certainly. So we're just saying, is minimalism and self-actualization or self-fulfillment, are they the same? Are they similar? Or in your view, they could be two different concepts as interpreted by people?
Yes, that's a good thing to ask about. And as you know, minimalism is never about self-actualization, but you can go with into when you go really into it, you can have some good fruits of actualization. That is, it is really cutting down things you really doesn't want, identifying the things, means identifying the wastes of the life, or identifying the real things that really matters, and cutting all others down. But self-actualization when goes to a higher level, that is purely, I feel like it's an experience for the people where it needs more courage and more investment of everything, including its effort. I think we should not complicate to that level. Just identify that this is a lifestyle which we can adopt according to our situation. I am sure that many of the people who are listening to me are living in cities. Okay, and I told about my linear which is parked in my college, but it happens just because I have no way to get a taxi car or Ola or Uber to my location where I am actively is. You can understand if you are having an Ola or Uber at your spot where you can be available, it's more positively affecting your life so that you will be more comfortable with less amount of money. So it differs according to the people, and surely actualization is not directly influencing, but we can surely tell that it's a simplicity, a lifestyle based on simplicity and value, which into the next stage we can grow to actualization, self-actualization.
All right. Another question that's coming up is when we talk about minimalism, it starts with first having what we want and then deciding how less of that we want. Considering that India is a country where a lot of people even live below the poverty line, how does one really talk about minimalism in that context?
Great and wonderful question. Yes, already people are living in India. People are living in minimalistic life, but as you know, surely we are discussing about the minimalism practice of people who can make it a practice in a general lifestyle where we are actively involving in our society. And when we are trying to support this with this money, as well as your gaining components. If we are trying to support this to with the society who is having a very poor background, that is going to be an added thing, or that is the main thing you can make minimalism a wonderful thing. For example, when I started trying to practice this thing, I had few dresses, not few dresses, about 8 to 10 pairs of dresses with me, which I thought when I am reducing my weight, I will be using it. But I understood that when I'm reducing the, if I'm waiting for that specific time, it will be a very, it will be a very complicated procedure. Since I'm not using for the past 6 months or 1 year, I took that and met some of my neighboring people who really want that dresses or really don't have that style of dresses, and I personally handed over to that. I think directly you will be getting the thing how we can support, how minimalism can support the people who are in economically backward situation.
All right, that's a nice connect between the haves and the have-nots, as they say. There's a very interesting question that Ashok Patra has posted in the chat box. Ashok, can I request you to unmute and ask the question? It's a very interesting question. It'd be good if you can share it with Dr. Jubilant. Go ahead, Ashok.
Yeah. Thank you, Harris. Professor. So my question is, as a person, I may want to practice minimalism, but as we are social animals, we are living in a society and a family. Maybe my family members are not willing to go with that particular, view. So in that case, definitely there will be a conflict of opinions, or maybe practices what I want to follow or what I want my family want to. So how to adjust that? How to make it work? If as a person I want to be minimalist. Thank you for
Yes,
answering.
yes, it's a great, as you told, it's a wonderful practical question which always people have to face. Yes, regarding that, even your family is not believing minimalism, or they are not interested in the same. You have, as I told, you have different areas to work with. That is regarding if you work in your office, if you are working, if there is an opportunity there, if you can do it in your schedule, where we can do it. You can do it in your relationship, you can do it in your digital gadgets, and you can do in your energy. That is means basically by utilizing minimal energy, both physical as well as the conventional energies, including electricity. So it means I'm not telling that minimalism. It means if best thing is that if you can talk to your means we can talk to your family, our family, and get possible things we can do together. That is, sometimes my son will be interested in something which my daughter is having no interest. My daughter is interested in some other things here, and which my wife is having no interest. So we can sit together and identify the areas which we can work in our house. Personally, we can do it in our schedule, and personally, you can do it in your office table, and personally, you can do it in your relationship. So I'm not telling that you should never be frustrated that in this specific area you cannot do it. But after all, being happy is by identifying the areas we can be more where you can be more happy and going into it. That's the thing I can tell about.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. I think what you're saying is rather clear, that this is something that needs to be internalized, which has to be acceptable. You can't force
Yes.
it down people, then it will
Never.
create more complications than
Yes,
simplifying.
yes.
That's coming across rather
Yes.
clearly. Mr. Sidhwa, you had an interesting question. Would you like to share that with Dr. Jubilant? Go ahead, please. Just unmute yourself and go ahead.
Mr. Sitwa, are you able to hear us?
No, I think that, yeah, you have to
Okay.
unmute yourself. You'll have the
By the
mic.
time, yeah, by the time we get
Go
him,
ahead.
Dr. Hemjit wanted to ask a question. Dr. Hemjit, please go ahead, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Jubilant. Thank you, BMA, for this wonderful session. I stand on the sinner side to ask a question on this. Way back in 2012, I happened to be in a Vaivavosi. So I was supposed to say a prayer. And I said a prayer from the, Brihadaranya Upanishad, which is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhino, Sarve Santu Niramai, Sarve Badrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashit Dukkha Bhav. Which the prayer says, may everybody be happy, may nobody fall sick, and let everybody, enjoy that happiness and being free. The first question the interviewer asked me was, does it happen in India? And whatever the reason, I immediately answered, I have seen it happen in Japan. And there, the interviewer did not ask. But when I went back, I pondered why, because 2010, 2011, tsunami happened in Japan. And when you look at the visuals, one can go back and see every time when the food was dropped, you could see people going and fetching and giving it to others, which you may not find anywhere. And then I said, how a Japanese is able to follow it. I started my little bit research with all modesty, and I found the whole of the Zen Buddhism spoke about 2 to 3 fundamental things. They said exactly what Dr. Job was telling: unclutter your mind, be judicious in your use of emotions. They said engage in healthy body mind activity. And the last thing was very interesting. They said engage in a life which creates harmony and joy to everybody. So the influence of Japanese philosophy was so much. And then I went back again. There was a serial which came up way back in the 1980s. I'm sure Professor Mani can tell. The serial's name was Ocean. The serial was very, very successful. In that serial, you will find only humanity, only generosity. And then the whole world was, if you look at the Japanese management systems and philosophies and everything, the commitment, the sincerity, you don't find anywhere. So when you spoke about the minimalism, later stage I found in one of the quote, they say the best things in life aren't things. And the less you own, the less owns you. And, we find examples of Steve Jobs and everybody. The best learning of today was when you spoke about activity. People like, why I said I'm from the sinner side, people like me do not look at activity and relationship from that dimension. We may look at material things, but the basic philosophy is that the best things in life aren't things. They are much more, maybe the intangible or value. So this was a bit of research, and today, fortunately I could join for this, and it actually reiterated my thoughts that this was the way, people used to live. When you found Anna Hazare putting the concept in the 50s and 60s, you will find post, independence, you might find everybody living the way Anna Hazare lived. So, today when you look back and see, you will find only very few people like that. You will feel that. So it's a great topic. I think I have learned a lot of things to practice once again, especially from the relationship, activity part, and the connection on how Japanese could do might be that Zen Buddhism has influenced and still is influencing them. So this is what I thought I'll share. Thank you.
Hemjitji, shall I provide you another tip regarding something?
Yes.
That is, if you are really using Kindle or some other reader components, you can avoid all the books which is kept back of your shelf.
Okay. In fact, I will tell you a little more to add. If I have to shift my house, it will take only 1 hour. But if I have to shift my book, it may take 2 days.
Yes, that's what I was trying to tell.
So what exactly is now my library is open to public. Okay. So last 8 months people are not coming. Otherwise, I'm associated with 3 universities, and I write to them whenever you want a book, give me 8 days time. I will give you. Somebody says I want it as a personal copy. I'll say I will roll out a photocopy and give it to you.
That's
So
great.
some
That's
such
great
things.
from your side, and salute you, sir.
And
So,
one more thing, this library is only an extension. I have removed around 600 books to my office in Andheri, and Professor Mani is,
okay,
yeah, Mani is aware about little bit about my office also. Yes, I'll take it as
okay.
another feedback.
That's great, sir. And what I did was that regarding this thing, I had during my engineering days and my development, I did with the engineering days. I had many books with me, and after that, when I went to my career, also I had many books. But I donated all the possible books, not all the books. Still, some motivational books are with me. Almost all the technical books which I am having the copy. I have a digital copy. I have donated to my college where they are available in the college library. One thing, and again to add into the MGC, Japan is the basic place of minimalism just because the means Mary Kondo, who is who started the movement of minimalism to one extent. She initiated it, and it was taken up by the Japanese people. And as you told, that is regarding that the Buddhist movement, Buddhist movement, they are already influenced with that movement. And again, another thing is that they are highly exposed to the natural calamities like earthquakes and tsunamis. So they have no materialistic affinity because one day they have everything and next day they will be losing everything and anything. So they have no much materialistic affinity to any component, and that made them more flexible to have a minimalistic life. And that is the study says about more influence of minimalism in Japan. Please.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Hemjit. And we move on to the next question. I would request Abhay, Anshumala, Brigadier J.K. Tiwari, sir, if you can put on your camera and ask a question or share your feedback about the session. You can also share the feedback, what kind of minimalist lifestyle you have been practicing. JK sir, are you there?
Oh, I'm there, please. Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Joshi sir. Good evening.
Please. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Please share your feedback.
Well, it's an interesting subject. It makes you think, go to the roots and start thinking all over again as to what you really look for, what is important for you. It's a good to review these things, and maybe the clarity emerges as a result of that, and that will be very helpful. I never tried it or practiced it, but in normal process of life, we do that, and this is perhaps a systematic approach to do that. And I appreciate very much the thoughts that you have shared, sir. And we'd like to follow up on that. Chintanji already has given some references, and we'd like to receive any further information if we can get from you. Thanks a lot. Very interesting topic.
Thank you, Joshi sir. Chetan Chadwa, Farooq sir, Chitendra ji.
Hello.
Yeah, Manav, go ahead, please. Yeah, Chitendra sir. Okay, go ahead. Please put on your camera and share your question. Manav, go ahead.
I cannot put on my camera right now because I'm in a place where I'm with my sister. I'm outside celebrating her birthday.
Not an issue. Go ahead and share your question and feedback.
I actually had an amazing time and I've been researching around minimalism. But this one question always keeps popping in my head, which is that greed actually serves as a very good motivation for people to work harder. So if I give people some reward, they tend to work harder. And that is just basic one-on-one carrot and stick theory. So my question is, if you choose to be minimalist, how do you replace that motivation that greed gives you?
Yes, that's a great question. And in between itself, I told there is things to be taken, and regarding the negative spaces regarding regarding that, and to something to say no to others. That is regarding that. If that is really taking a space in your movement area, and it's not going to help you out. If there is any situation to say no, you have to do it. If there is any situation, it's all different things which I cannot comment case by case. But if there is a situation to reject, people has to reject. For example, if that is going to kill your space, and that is going to kill your lifestyle. If directly supporting if a person which is not directly supporting your life is going to get provided to you. But another thing is that if you are really means cannot tell any no to that, you have to take it up, accept it, and in the next step, you have to identify some other mechanism to pay it back. That is, I'm not telling pay the person back, but I'm telling to pay that something to some other person or something like that.
Okay, thank you so much.
But still, it has some humanitarian considerations to be taken, and that has to be taken because we should not be arrogant, or we should not be a negative person to practice minimalism. Keep that in mind.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Manav. Jitendra ji, go ahead.
In fact, it's a coincidence that my question is same as what Manav is asked. Because I see that if you want to go higher and higher in career and position or maybe recognition, so generally what happens is that we tend to be following something. So for that, I think very nicely answered that. And amazing session once again, Chintan. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to attend this, number one. And second is thank you, Mr. Jubilant Job. And
Thank you.
although it's very, very tough, in fact, I must confess that it's not easy. It's going to be tough, but we can at least make a beginning. The other point would be the catch-22 situation kind of that should you own a house or rent a house? Sorry, but that's also one of those things because is that
I didn't get your question.
I think I'm saying in the question of going minimal estate, could you actually give away the properties and all those things also and start living on living by the suitcase or something like that?
Yes, I'm having a property. Actually, my parents are into agriculture, as well as both my parents are doctors. So, being agriculturalists, we have property, and we ensure that we are properly, I mean, managing that and getting out some of the fruits, that is purely products out of it. We are making sure that we are doing the positive. We are not putting it down, or doing negatively doing it, or letting it out without agriculture. We are working hard in that things to make some results of that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Farooq Sidhwa wanted to ask a question. Sidhwa ji, please go ahead. Hello? Sidhwa ji? Hello.
You're on mute, Sidhwa sir. You're on mute, Sidhwa sir. Mr. Farooq, you're on mute.
Yeah, kindly unmute yourself. Farooq ji, please unmute yourself.
Just look out for the microphone at the base of your screen and click it once, unless your settings are different.
Yes, we are not able to hear Sidhwa sir.
All right.
Sir, kindly unmute yourself. Okay, Shankar ji, please go ahead and share your feedback and question.
Actually, I find this talk very, very interesting. And Dr. Jubilant had an excellent presentation. I think it's a solution for many of the problems in life for most of the people, particularly for those whose primary needs are fully satisfied. But for the people for whom self-actualization needs are still burning in their belly, uh, this may be a deterrent. Probably for them, you need to come out with a different solution. This is my opinion.
Okay. One more thing I forgot to intimate you. In Netflix, there is a series called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, which is released in 2019, which is directly telling many things a minimalist can practice or organizing life in better way. There are many things any person can practice, which I recommend everyone to see, watch, if possible.
Thank you, Dr. Jubilant. I will be sharing the link of this documentary on Netflix. Sidhwa ji, can you unmute yourself, sir? Hello. Okay, let us move on. Mr. Keshav.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You'll have to mute yourself from one device. You have logged in from two devices.
Because this device on my PC is not working somehow. I don't know.
Not an issue. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. My question was, it's okay to say that minimalization can only start after your basic needs are met with. Say a person is unable to get a 2-bedroom flat because of his big family. How do you expect him to minimalize? And it's okay for Steve Jobs because he has so many other things and he can afford to. Most of the people you talk about are people who have a lot of wealth and fame. How will minimalize work for an ordinary citizen? I'm not talking of those below poverty line, even the middle class, where making a living is a tough thing in Bombay.
Yes, sir. That's a great question. And in a middle class family with more number of people, surely minimalism can be applied in consuming things. For example, elder daughter's dress is presently used by my little sister's 3-year-old kid. That is, we can use and reuse all the components, including the toys and all other things. Nowadays, everybody is purchasing new and brand new things for their kids. Is it that really required in the consumer society? That makes a big difference. So surely I'm not arguing that a small house should be having for big family, but a big family can utilize that things in a better way than normal family is presently and currently doing.
In fact, I would like to add one point here, Dr. Jubilant, if you can permit me. So,
please.
Yeah, so being minimalist is not only applied to living, household, and all the materialistic items, but one can practice minimalism in our daily life so that our life becomes clutter free you will be in your busy schedule. At times you are not able to spot the time for your hobby, for your health, and that is where being minimalist helps you to spare time for your health, for your hobbies, and thus stay away from frustration or depression or confusion. So this is my idea of being a minimalist. I mean, my idea
Yes.
of being minimalist as an individual is not limited to staying that okay, fine, I will not buy house. I'll go for a 5,000 rupee bed, or I will not use two pillow. I will now on. I will less use shampoo, or use less soap. That's not being minimalist actually, but maybe I would like to use less paper, be more organized, and then be minimalist on spending time, and then making effective use of my schedule and interaction. So that can be one of the way one can be minimalist and start practicing minimalism.
Exactly.
So so that's where I thought I should share.
Yeah.
Does this answer your question, Farooq ji?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next one is Kajal, Keshava, and Madhu Mohan Tirthala. So, do you guys have any questions? Kindly put on your camera, share your question, feedback with the speaker, please.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I'm traveling right now, so I won't be able to switch on my camera. But I do have a query. Like, sir, when you say minimalistic approach, okay, so how do you classify that I need to spend on this because it is the need of the hour, and how to, like, for example, suppose you're going to an event, a corporate event or something like that. So how do you classify that, what level of minimalism you can access, or you can I don't know, observe at that particular moment, where you're not excessively spending and you're controlling your expenses, something like that. So how do you classify what is the level, what is important, what is not important?
Yeah, basically, the classification is always personal choice, because but we can identify, we can go for some checklist how we can make that classification possible, because for person to person, the components that really matters to them differs. It is done by just if two cases: purchasing a component, or decoupling a component. That is, regarding the decoupling a component, if you are really not using that for a specific time, say about 6 months or something, if you are not using, and you are identifying that you are not going to use that in life anymore, you can reduce, I mean, move it away. For example, I really had my means cars shade, means shade area, which was with me for a few couple of years, and which made sun prevent means, sunrise into the through the glasses. I mean, I found that I'm not going to use it anymore, even if it is having some use, but I'm not interested to use it. So I gave that to my friend, where he was really interested to use it. Similarly, you are just identifying that specific components which you really require, and move out all other components which you really need to add. And again, if you are, means there is a great chance for, means there are different types of sales in Amazon and Flipkart, where we really are getting tempted to buy something. But make sure that before purchasing, ensure that we will be using that for, I mean, properly. For that, before the sale itself, we should have to make a wish list with us, that is available in the software, or we can make it personally. We should make wish list and think about it for a couple of days, whether we should really need it or not, and then go and pay for it. Previously, I had a tendency to buy various gadgets, which and unfortunately I found that I'm never going to use it in my life. Fortunately, presently I'm avoiding the purchase of such components. I hope I have answered.
I get it, sir. I get it, sir. So basically, the use component be on the tangent of the utility tangent has to match with the buying thing. That's what you summed up for me right now.
Kajal, if I add to this, if you look at your personal drawer where you keep your personal belongings, there is a lot of things which you are not using day to day.
So true, sir. I have things which are lying there for 10 years.
So that is where. So try to remove them. That would declutter a lot of things in your life.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I'm going to make that attempt.
Thank you so much. We had Mr. Shankar.
I have a question, Chintan, is that, you see, thanks to this COVID, the consumption of various things reduced so drastically. The economy is in shambles, and a lot of people lost their jobs, and many industries are doing pretty badly. And in that situation, if people started practicing minimalistic concepts, what will happen to our economy?
Actually, please understand, I mean, our economy is directly in tune of consumption. And then because Unilever guys, executives has got 15% year on year target increase, our consumption of shampoo or soap is not going to increase by that. So they actually do business based on the value. So on in terms of products, I mean, do you think that people have started? I mean, any kind of consumption has reduced? No. There are something like, I mean, in case of, let's say, your mobile or internet consumption, यदि आदमी का पैसा धंधा चलता है और पैसा आता है तो वो खुशी में यूज करता है, लोगों को फोन करता है, सिंगापुर कब जा रहा है, दुबई आना है क्या करके, एंड व्हेन ही इज नॉट अर्निंग ही विल कॉल कि अरे भाई 2 लाख पेंडिंग है, 5,000 दे दे, 10,000 दे दे. So in either way there are certain uses which are not going to reduce at any level. So that's why I mean
I
that's
think
my
you got my question wrong.
Okay.
You see, as I understand from Dr. Jubilant, is that whatever is the minimum which you need as a necessity, you continue that. That is, he doesn't advocate that you stop that. What he is saying is something which you may not need regularly, but you still buy it in the normal course. This is what is keeping so many industries alive, and so many people are having their jobs, so many businesses are going. Now, if everybody starts minimalistic attitude, other than necessities, nobody will buy anything. During COVID time, you and I, as you rightly said about necessities, we were still buying our necessities. Those industries were still going on. But what really stopped are the ones, for which may not be necessity, but we were still buying. If COVID concerns are not there, probably most of the people would buy. But if they listen to Dr. Jubilant and then start practicing his concepts, then most of the people will be out of job.
Sir, I should add to that with an example or case study. That is, if regarding diamonds, how much is a diamond going to influence the life of a person, or what is the use of a diamond in the life of a person? We should have to think about it. Actually, what happened was that diamond is a precious stone where you can keep, as the business people say, for jewelry people say, you can keep it for years or years, years after years, and you can resell it. Totally. But while keeping that thing with us, there is people present to his wife that if you really in the in a act that if he really wants to present his wife a diamond, if he really loves his wife, he should present a diamond to his wife. That's what the concept regarding sales of the diamond is. That's what the diamond merchants are trying to insist. But we should think whether it is really required. I really honor a person who made his son's marriage. That is, all the functions of the marriage and celebrations were cut down, and he with that price, with that amount, he married 10 people and gave food to around 5,000 people with that money. Just think that how a person who was planning to do some expense drive in some other way. Surely that money was used in some other way, and I really believe in minimalism in that sense and not in the other sense.
Diamond is not the right example because how many times in your lifetime you keep on buying diamonds and how many occasions you buy it. But there are many things which you buy on a daily basis, which is keeping so many industries alive, so many people keeping their employment, and so many people getting salaries. If people start following your minimalistic, concept and stop buying things which are non-essentials, so many of us would be on the street without a job.
Yeah, I was just telling, even if you tell that that's not a proper example, I was trying to explain was that how that money can be betterly used for other purpose. And again, people in Japan, I mean, as Professor told, they are not saving that money and putting that in banks or accounts or something like that. They are surely using that money for some other purpose, which is more useful for the society and the community. That makes the things more fruitful. That surely improves the life scale and lifestyle of many other people who are really in the down to earth level. What I feel regarding.
Yeah, I think if I might just, Chintan,
yes, sir.
what I'd like to kind of make an observation.
Yes, sir.
When one tries to practice minimalism, there is no standard benchmark. It varies from person to person. It is still a relative concept. We don't have certain set yardsticks saying that this is the level of acquisitions after which I should start practicing minimalism. So it's a lot to do with the individual state of mind and at what stage an individual feels that he has or she has an excess of something which he or she can be happy without. I think finding out that equilibrium point is something very intrinsic. It is something everyone has to reflect about. And what Dr. Jubilant shared with us effectively was the point that we need to make a beginning somewhere. Maybe Corona forced us into a lot of things. It's a good idea to continue to think in that direction. Shankar had a very valid point that today, what used to be defined as a luxury many years ago is today defined as a need or a want. And this perception varies from person to person. Color television in 1981 was a luxury. Today, I don't think anyone looks at black and white television except if you were to find it in a museum. So I guess the benchmarks have changed. And I strongly believe that this is something each individual has to write his own script. If I may venture to share what I learned from this session. Back to you, Chintan.
Thank you, sir. We quickly have a roll call for Keshav Sharma, Muruganathan, Rajni Shakori. Kindly unmute yourself and share your feedback and questions, please.
Chintan, can I go on, please?
Yes, please, sir. Go ahead.
Firstly, thank you to the community for organizing such a wonderful topic, and to Dr. Jubilant for taking the courage to jump into it in the deep end, as they say, in the deep end of the swimming pool.
Thank you, sir.
I am in full agreement with Dr. Jubilant, and thank you for making us aware. Basically, please correct me, Dr. Jubilant, this is just a awareness session. It is not a benchmarking or milestoning session,
Yes.
because each individual is different from the other.
Yes.
I am 55 years old. I am on a different point in my life, what you call value chain of life. Dr. Jubilant is on a different point on that value chain. Hence,
Exactly.
the requirements will be different. Minimalistic living to me would mean mindful living. Am I
Yes.
mindful of the things that I am consuming? Why am I consuming? How am I consuming? And the likes. Please,
Exactly.
correct me, Dr. Jubilant.
No, no,
If
it's
if if
exactly
I
correct.
so saying that so again, I'll like to go back to the point that this is just an awareness session. We have to choose the things that apply to us on our lifetime. Value, take it forward step by step. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, sir. And hello. Do we have Dr. Jubilant around?
Yeah. Am I
Okay.
audible?
Okay. Yes. Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
he's there.
Because
He's there.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Radishi. I guess there was a last part of your feedback, which probably all of us went on mute or something.
No, yeah. So I was just saying that this is an awareness session,
Yes,
and
sir.
everyone has to take the point which gets applicable to them in their lifetime as of now, value chain, and practice it slowly. Everyone will realize what is the pace and what are the items that you can do. But the point is, we have to start. Okay, Dr. Jubilant?
Yes, yes, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That's all from my side, Chintan. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We now move on to Sachin, Shailesh, and Subramaniam. Do you guys have any question? Kindly unmute yourself and ask a question or share a feedback with the speaker. Okay, Shankarji, you also had any question? You had raised your hand.
Sir, I am Muruganathan.
Yeah, Muruganathan, please go ahead.
Sir, this webinar brings to my memory another webinar we had recently. The speaker said we should limit our expectations. That I just want to point out. Then, wherever possible, we should use public transport. Using a car just for the journey of a single person, things like this can be avoided. Even in China, where people were using cycle in large number, have started using cars now in large number. We should enjoy the comforts also in our life. Uh, that's what I just want to tell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing your feedback. We have Anshu Mala Prasad Ranjan. Kindly share your question, feedback, please. Anshu Mala.
Yeah, hi. So sorry, I'm not feeling well, so I won't be able to switch on my video. So I want to share one instance, and I also want to, I have one question that I earlier asked. So, for example, I had observed in my life that I do not have any occasions for traditional events where I have to wear traditional things. So, at one point of time, whatever saris and everything I had from my gift as in my marriage. I had returned everything to everyone because I don't have such kind of occasion, the life I am living. So currently, so I don't buy any traditional clothes. I don't have any any traditional clothes. But now when people wonder or people ask or criticize, then I really don't understand that how should I respond. So my generic question is, how should we respond to the different choices we have made, and particularly like Dr. Jobs, that how do you respond? So I'll just get a clue. I'm not saying that you can respond on behalf of everyone, but some someone can share their experience, how they respond, then we can get our clue.
Yes, open to anybody.
Okay, so I would say that there are, I mean, I would say that people definitely would criticize. If you do, then also criticize. If you don't do, then also criticize. As they rightly say, uh, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे. So that is where we need to be mindful that हमें किसका certificate चाहिए, and listen to those people whose feedback matters to us. Otherwise, I mean, even if you wear a red dress, people will say, oh, this is more brighter than the occasion wanted. If you wear blue, they will say, oh, this doesn't match with certain things, whatever. I mean, I'm just putting it. So that's where I feel that for me, anything I do, I first check that whatever the feedback is, that does his feedback or certificate matters to me. Am I working to please him and make him or her happy? If not, then I don't care, then I don't get that feedback into my ear itself, because if you get into ear, then it gets into your mind. So don't block your bandwidth. That's about it. That's the simplest answer I could think of.
Yeah, right. I think we need to be above that. But it sometimes bothers, like
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Look, madam, the main point is that who matters to you. That's the best thing Chintan sir said in his explanation. And the feedback from who matters you, and you have to surely explain to them that what you are doing and how you are doing. That makes your life more settled.
And while you are spending, let's say,
Sir,
maybe you're not buying traditional dresses, but you may be buying some dresses. So based on the occasion, you must wear certain dresses, right? I mean, definitely in our Indian culture, if there is a death, then you cannot turn up in jeans and kurta and all. You need to be dressed up in a proper dress, what rest of the guys are wearing. So while you are making investment, you need to be cautious or mindful about all kind of occasions we have in our culture, and then judiciously distribute the spend. So that is another feedback. In the interest of time, yeah, Kajal, you wanted to share something? Please go ahead.
yes, sir. I wanted to share that this is some ma'am just, she just pointed out something that is so bang on, which is happening in current generation. And when I chose to go a different path, till date, I get that objection, but I think over a period of 5-7 years since I've started being that different human being, I've become immune to what people say. But I always abide by one story which changed my life. One small story which just changed my life about what people are thinking. And if you allow me, I would like to share that story. So,
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Kajal.
yeah.
so
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Please
Kajal,
share,
go
Kajal.
ahead. It seems there are some challenges. We are not able to hear her.
No, she has muted herself.
no,
Kajal,
Tanuj,
are you
I
there?
didn't mute myself. Actually, I was facing a technical glitch, so I just disconnected and connected again.
Okay, please go ahead. Please go ahead and quickly share what you wanted to share. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I'm just saying that whatever man shared, and it was so bang on. And then there is one liner that I always write on my profile, that I am a person who is not influenced by anybody apart from her own voice. And I think this statement, when I write on every piece of document where I represent myself, gives me so much confidence and gives me so much power that I have to live by it now because I've written. and suddenly what everybody is doing is just stop factoring at that moment.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and let us move on. Dr. Jubilant, you wanted to share, a brief
Yeah.
about Pala Management Association, what you
Yes.
guys are doing. Maybe you
Yes.
can
Yes.
take a
Yes.
minute and then quickly update the forum.
Yeah. The Pala Management Association is affiliated to All India Management Association, and is our working space is at south of India, that is in Kerala near Kottayam. We have around 80 members in action, and our members include industrialists, planners, academicians, doctors, accountants, finance people, bankers, and many other choices like that. And we actively do monthly programs online presently, and previously we were actively doing uh, direct programs at our area. And presently, we are planning to since insertion. It's the second president, myself, previously presided by Mr. Radhakrishnan of Koilan Management Association. He started this year and he was the president. And presently, we are into social initiatives as well as supporting MSMEs and few of the colleges nearby. We are providing some technical support to the management colleges, four management colleges associated with us. Thus, trying to motivate the students with new ideas of management. That's what is happening. And also, we are from the agricultural area, and surely we have many agriculturals actively involving, but lacks proper management of the agricultural component. So surely the new techniques, technologies, as well as supports, if anything is possible from Bombay Management Association or any other people, we really love to get supported in uplifting the agriculturals and farmers. We are having small scale farmers in our area, and we really lack the support in that area. If anybody could put support in, including technology as well as managerial ideas, we are really happy to get connected with. Thank you.
Absolutely. In fact, on that note, Dr. Jubilant, I'll be happy to discuss this offline. Agriculture and rural development is an area that some of us are very passionate about. And I happen to be working as an advisor to some agri companies too. So let's discuss this offline. But I'd like to invite all the Pala Management Association members to come and attend all the Bombay Management Association programs, which are all digital. And from next week onwards, I think we'll entrust Chintan the responsibility to ensure that all of you get details of all our programs. And all of you are welcome to be with us in this learning journey that BMA started digitally.
Thank you, sir.
Sure,
Thank
definitely,
you.
sir. I would be happy to be a bridge between Bombay Management Association and connect members of Pala Management Association. Thank you so much. And may I request Dr. Hemjit to extend the vote of thanks on behalf of all.
Once again, on behalf of Bombay Management Association, uh, this was a great evening for us, especially from, when you start looking at the minimalistic philosophy, it gives us a lot of introspection, going back and checking where do we stand today. It's always the balance between your need, your want, and your greed. It's a very thin balance. And I think I should thank Bombay Management Association, Professor Mani, Chintan, and all uh, the organizers for bringing such a wonderful topic, which actually is the need of the hour. And we look forward to have more and more exchange programs between Pala Management Association. I am born, bred, and buttered in South. So I also feel that if a lot of good things are happening, good speakers like you are there, I'm sure it will benefit all of us to understand, learn more. So once again, Dr. Jubilant, on behalf of management and all the participants who are here, we take this opportunity to thank you and
Thank
wish
you.
you
Thank
all
you.
the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hemjeet. We also have a agri technologist pioneer. I mean, he's a guy who has been at the intersection of agriculture and technology, and he has been championing at a level where he was working with Mr. Narendra Modi himself
Oh, great.
directly. So I would like to invite Jitendra Singh ji, if you can share a few words and share your feedback about the session, sir.
Thank you so much, Chintan bhai. And yes, of course, it's been an honor working with directly the Honorable Prime Minister. I actually implemented the e-National Agriculture Market portal throughout the India, and we launched it on 14th of April 2016. Today, as we speak, more than a crore of farmers are online, and about 50 lakh traders are also online. The amount which has been transacted through that platform is more than 5,000 crores. This has been one of those successful projects under Digital India initiative, and had the opportunity of meeting farmers across the length and breadth of the country. So knowing that, and after hearing Dr. Jubilant about the agri community and all those things, so this actually is an added icing on the cake. In fact, there are a lot many things which are reciprocative in nature. We can learn from the farming community. And myself actually also belong to a farming community, Dr. Jubilant. In fact, my family, not me.
Right.
So, but otherwise, yes, I have been associated with the agri industry for about close to 18 years, though in the entire span of 30 years, it has been different industries, but largely agriculture. And I think there is a long way to go as an individual also, and as a participant in the community building, which in fact focuses on, I would like to now balance 2, 3 things here in economy vis-a-vis the good, simple lifestyle and a higher thinking. Thank you so much, Dr. Jubilant, and I see a
Thank
lot of
you.
people here. Look forward to interact with all of you once again. Thank
Thank you
you.
Thank
so
you, sir.
much.
Thank you.
Before we conclude, I would request Professor Mani to share his concluding remarks, and then we conclude. Professor Mani, please.
Sure. Thank you, Chintan. At the outset, I must thank you, who wears two hats to contribute to the development of management thinking. The TMI hat, which you lead so effectively, and of course, being part of the core Bombay Management Association team. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to associate with this topic. And Dr. Jubilant, Chintan will resound what I'm saying, that when he suggested that we could collaborate on a couple of topics, this was the first topic that we picked up, because I believe this is something that everyone has to practice. It is a challenge because we are used to so much of what is called peer pressure. We are used to living life the way others live. And somewhere the internalization that what makes me happy may not be the same that makes someone else happy will go a long way for people to implement minimalism. Thank you once
Great.
again for walking the talk, as I said. And we really look forward to more opportunities to collaborate with Pala Management Association and TMI in time to come. Let me thank everyone who is here, despite what they call the typical long weekend concept, which is now assuming a lot of significance because unlock is happening slowly, steadily, and rapidly as you might choose it to be. But learning will go on forever. And I think that's the motto with which people like us get together on forums like this. Back to you, Chintan, and keep doing the good work that you do.
Thank you so much, sir. And with this, I thank everyone for joining us, and then Dr. Jubilant for sharing his expertise. We are indeed grateful to him, and we are also grateful to Pala Management Association as well as Bombay Management Association for extending the support to make this event a great success. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and
Thank
Sunday
you.
ahead. Look forward to meet you at
Thank
the
you.
next
Thank you,
event
sir.
wherein we are getting a expert on storytelling. So he will be sharing nuances, tools and techniques of a storyteller. So we look forward to meet you same time next week. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great evening ahead. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.